stood in my driveway, frozen. My sister's car sped away fast. Tires screeched on the asphalt road. She didn't even look back once. On my porch stood 3 kids. They were crying and holding suitcases. Mommy said, "You are babysitting us." The oldest one handed me a note. I unfolded the piece of paper. It was written in red lipstick. "Going to Cabo for a week. Don't call me, I need space. Feed them pizza, love you, bye." I felt my blood turn cold. She didn't ask me at all. She just dumped them and ran. I called her phone immediately. It went straight to voicemail. "Hi, you've reached the party girl." I looked at the terrified children. I looked at my busy schedule. I had a job interview tomorrow. I could not take care of them. I dialed my parents' number next. "Just help your sister Sarah," they said. "Don't be so selfish and mean." That was the final straw for me. I hung up the phone calmly. I looked at the crying kids. "I am sorry," I whispered softly. Then I dialed 911. I reported 3 abandoned children. My sister thought this was a vacation, but she was about to lose everything. My sister Emily was the golden child. In my parents' eyes, she was perfect. She was the pretty one. She was the popular cheerleader type. I was just Sarah the helper. Since we were very young kids, I was expected to serve her. "Clean your sister's room, Sarah. Do your sister's homework, Sarah. She is too tired to do it." If Emily broke a vase, my parents blamed me for it. "You should have been watching her." This dynamic continued into adulthood. Emily got married at 21. She had 3 kids very quickly. But she didn't want to be a mom. She still wanted to party. So I became the designated babysitter. Every Friday night she would call. "I'm dropping the kids off now." It wasn't a question or request. It was a demand. If I said I had plans, my mother would call me screaming, "How dare you abandon your family? Your sister needs a break. Family helps family no matter what." So I always canceled my plans. I stayed home with her wild kids. They were never disciplined by her. They broke my things constantly. They drew on my apartment walls. And Emily never paid me a dime. She never even said thank you. She would pick them up Sunday, hungover and smelling like cheap alcohol. "You're the best, Sarah," she'd slur. And then she would disappear again. I enabled this behavior for years. I thought I had no choice. But I was starting to crack. I wanted my own life back. I wanted to date and travel. But I was trapped by guilt. Until the day of the vacation. That brings us to last Tuesday, the day everything exploded. I was preparing for my interview. I had my suit laid out. I was practicing my answers. Then the doorbell rang aggressively. It was Emily. She looked like a movie star. Sun hat, sunglasses, cocktail in hand. She didn't even say hello. "Surprise," she yelled. "The girls are yours for the week. I booked a flight to Cabo." She started shoving suitcases inside. I blocked her path. "Emily, no," I said firmly. "I have a job interview tomorrow. I explicitly told you I am busy. You cannot leave them here." She rolled her eyes at me, like I was being ridiculous. "Oh, relax, Sarah," she laughed. "Your little interview isn't important. My mental health is important. I need this break. Just put them in front of the TV." She didn't see me as a person. She saw me as a servant. "I am not asking you, Emily. I am telling you no. Take them back to your car." Her smile vanished instantly. She realized I was serious. So she did the unthinkable. She threw the lipstick note at me, she pushed her kids into my hallway, and she sprinted to her car. I ran after her screaming, but she locked the doors. And that is when she sped away, leaving me alone in the driveway, just like I told you at the start. But the worst part wasn't her leaving. It was what happened next. I called my mother in tears. I expected her to be furious at Emily. I expected her to help me. "Mom, she abandoned them," I cried. "She left for Mexico. Come pick them up, please." My mother let out a heavy sigh. "Sarah, stop being so dramatic. Your sister deserves this vacation. Just be a good aunt for once. We are busy this week too. Figure it out yourself." And she hung up on me. That was the moment I broke. It wasn't just Emily. It was the whole family. They all agreed I didn't matter. They all agreed my life was secondary. I looked at the terrified kids. I looked at my interview suit, and I realized I had 2 choices. I could be the doormat again, or I could burn the bridge. I chose to burn it. I called the police non-emergency line. My hands were sweating as I dialed. 911, What is your emergency? I need to report child abandonment. 3 minors were left at my house without my consent or permission. The mother has left the country. The operator's voice became very serious. Are you a legal guardian? No, I said firmly. I am just the aunt, and I cannot care for them. I am refusing responsibility. Okay, an officer is coming now. 10 minutes later, a cruiser arrived. 2 officers walked up to my porch. They looked at the suitcases. They looked at the lipstick note. She went to Cabo? The officer asked. Yes, she just drove away. Did she leave emergency contacts? No. Did she leave medical cards? No. The officer shook his head angrily. This is a felony, ma'am. Child neglect and abandonment. We have to call child services. My heart broke for the kids. They were scared and confused, but I knew I couldn't keep them. If I kept them, Emily wins. If I kept them, nothing changes. Social services arrived an hour later. They were kind but professional. They packed the kids into a van. Where are they going? I asked. Emergency foster care, the worker said, until the mother returns or until a judge decides. They drove away with the kids. My house was finally silent. But the storm was just starting. I knew my family would explode. But I felt a strange relief. I finally said no, and I meant it. The police tracked Emily down. They found her at the airport. She hadn't boarded her flight yet. She was at the airport bar, drinking another margarita. They arrested her on the spot for 3 counts of child endangerment. She called me from the jail. She was screaming like a banshee. How could you do this, Sarah? You called the cops on me? I am your sister. You ruined my vacation. I spoke calmly into the phone. You ruined your own vacation, Emily. You abandoned your children. I am not your servant anymore. My parents bailed her out later. They came to my house, furious. My dad pounded on my door. You are dead to us, Sarah. You humiliated this family. Everyone knows our business now. I opened the door and smiled. You created this monster, I said. You taught her she was special. You taught her rules didn't apply. Well, the law disagrees with you. Get off my property now, or I call the cops again. They looked at me with shock. They had never seen me stand up. They left muttering curses, but they left. The court case was brutal. Emily lost custody of her kids. The judge saw her pattern. He saw her lack of remorse. The kids went to the father. Her ex-husband, who is a good man. He thanked me for what I did. She was out of control, he said. You saved them from her neglect. Emily is now doing community service. She has to take parenting classes. She is not allowed to drink. She hates me with a passion. My parents have blocked my number. And honestly, it is a blessing. I got the job I interviewed for. I moved to a nicer neighborhood. I have peace and quiet now. No more screaming kids on Fridays. No more drunk phone calls. I realized that being the helper was just being a victim. Sometimes you have to be the villain in their story to be the hero in yours. I saved myself that day, and I think I saved those kids too. My parents and sister are out of my life, and for the first time in 25 years, I am actually free. I learned that you cannot change toxic people. You can only change how you deal with them. Sometimes the best revenge is just moving on and living a happy, successful life without them. If you enjoyed seeing justice served, check out this next story on the screen. It is another satisfying tale of revenge. Click it now.